All right, good evening, family. This is Joe checking in for No Picks Podcast,
What up, family? This is Ty.
And I'm Brittany.
and this is our guest Brittany. We're so happy to have you here tonight, Britt. Family, welcome her. She's an amazing individual. I'm sure she's gonna have lots to share about today's topics. So we're glad to have you here, Brittany.
Yeah,
Ty, I hope you guys are feeling well. We about to get active.
yeah.
So today we wanted to talk about something that's been making rounds now, right? So it's a situation with Saucy Santana. And just for context, he was on some show and a woman came out, a black woman, natural black woman. And I guess he was like, no, send her back. He was like, I don't know why they keep playing with me, and he was sending her back. And when they sent her back, he made some comments talking about she ain't even got no BBL, she ain't got lashes, she ain't got the weave. Like, no, no. So basically,
Yeah.
shading her for not having these things, right?
He's like, "What are we doing here? What are we doing here?" Like, yeah, he's like,
Yeah, he was like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So that's the gist of it. Like the clip is not that long, but he's getting dragged for that. So I'm curious to see what do you guys think. And Brittany, because you are a guest, I'm gonna ask, what are your initial thoughts? Like, how do you feel about the situation? How do you feel about his comments? Like, yeah, how do you feel about that?
Well, Saucy's always seems like he's in the news. So I feel like, one, I think that there's this idea of what womanhood is. And Saucy was kind of showing us what he thinks womanhood is. And for him, I feel like that's representing clearly BBLs, lashes, a certain type of aesthetic that appeals to him. But I don't even know what he likes in terms of like, you know what I mean? In terms of what would he be interested in? I don't know. But it was clearly like he wasn't interested in this person. But it
Yeah,
just seems like he has a certain idea of what a woman is to him, but that's because he is a woman in his eyes in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? So I feel like
so are we using the right pronoun? Like, are we
I'm
gonna
not
like?
even
Is he?
sure, to
no,
be honest.
Me
yeah,
either. Saucy, I'm sorry. We're gonna say
So
he for
yeah,
no,
now.
he,
If
he
it's
he
not that,
identifies he
let's
identifies
just
as
he's
a
a
say
man,
man.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
I just want
yeah.
to make sure because, um, yeah. But yeah. All right. So yeah, continue, Brett. I'm sorry.
no,
Like,
no,
yeah,
no.
I don't
That's
even know.
really that's my initial gut was like I don't want to say this, but I don't take him seriously.
Right.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that is just because I work with a lot of kids, like with a lot of young people. So my initial, when I look at Saucy, I think like, what happened? What's going on? Like, who hurt you? What's going on in your world for you to think that womanhood, even for you to want so many of those things that to me are not natural. Now, I also must say I'm a little biased as somebody who clearly, but I love makeup. I do makeup. I'm a makeup artist. I do all those things too. So I feel like there's certain things that we're starting to kind of, not we, but society has, I felt like, attributed to womanhood, whether that is the BBL or the having lashes, and some things I feel like are just people's, like, I don't know, there's a certain kind of aesthetic that's going around that people like, clearly, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
What'd you
that's
think,
my
Ty?
gut. That's the
No,
initial.
that's real. That's real. Initial
Mhm.
reactions. All right. What about you, Ty?
Yeah.
So I had two different gut reactions when I first heard this comment. Right. So my first one is I think it's pretty interesting. He's so comfortable commenting on a woman's body in that way. Right. So
Okay.
take Saucy out and put you in, right, Joe? Let's say you hanging out with Brittany and a woman walks by. Say y'all at lunch together. Somebody, a waitress comes. She's serving y'all, and I don't know, she has like a cup or something like that. It would be completely inappropriate for you to after she walked away. You tell Brittany like, listen, um, man, she need to get some D's on her, man. Like that's just crazy. That's just ridiculous. Like that's just
Even thinking about it, like to say
And
something,
oh my God,
I'm
what
like,
the
yo,
like you like think it, but you're not going.
yeah,
It's never going to cross your lips to tell her because she's going to be like, bruh, you're out of line for that. Like, what do you mean?
right,
You gotta pop some D's, throw some D's on that bitch. Like
yeah,
you can't say that. Like so, but if like,
yeah,
and especially as I mean, like, so women can talk like that with each other, right? But it's not cool. But his sexuality makes it cool because like it's a weird line that gay men are able to cross in the black community to where it's like, okay, well, they can cross those lines because they're in the nail salons, they're getting their hair done, they're like, yeah, they're with their homegirls, and they calling each other bitch and all that, you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, girl, but fuck
yeah,
that, and blah blah blah. So it's like I understand he had a lifetime of that experience, so he don't think twice about commenting on her body in that way. Where you and I would never do that because we know like that's not our place.
right,
Now, if it's just me and
yeah,
you and Brittany's not there, we might have some words, right? We might be like, damn,
yeah,
like she looks so good, but that joint is like a pancake. Like somebody just hit her and like hit her ass
Yeah.
with
Well, he
like
was
some smack
comfortable.
stuff.
He definitely was comfortable
Comfortable as
seeing what's
hell, right?
coming.
Comfortable as hell to see
Yeah.
it. The other reaction is obviously like the societal aspect. It's like, bro, like that's what's it. That's to him. That's what being like a badass bitch is. Being a badass bitch is having a couple BBLs, having some long ass butterfly eyelashes or whatever they call it, having a lace front, like that's
Right.
in his eyes. He didn't see that, so he's like, something had to be wrong with her because she wasn't on that type time. So he was like, "Yo, what is going on here? Like
Yeah.
when I'm around, with all the women got
That's
BBLs. Shit,
crazy.
he like shit. I even got a couple BBLs out this bitch because he got a couple like he got a BBL. He like if I can get a couple BBLs, you definitely got to be BBL'd up in order
He
to be.
definitely had a BBL, right? That's his. Is
No,
a
that's
BBL,
legit.
right?
That's he got
Is that
He
his?
does?
No, I
no no
don't know.
no Saucy
Oh.
got a BBL.
Oh, Saucy, that's okay. I don't know. That's why I was asking. I'm like,
Saucy
I'm
Saucy got
not
a BBL.
sure. You know.
All right, all right.
No, this ain't
So,
controversial. He cool. He talks about it. He's talked about it.
Okay.
So yeah, those are my two like initial reactions. Like one,
yeah.
you feel comfortable
What are
talking.
we even talking about? Listen, bro. So I don't know much about dude. I remember the first time I probably saw him. I don't know if you guys remember. No voting, no sex. No voting, no fucking. You guys remember that?
I think I
It was
remember.
legit a video. I mean, they made a
Video.
music video about it. They were trying to push people to come out to vote, and it was like no voting, no effing, no voting, no. And that's when I was just like, who is this dude? And it was him and Trina, right? So that's why I don't know much about him. But
Yeah,
if this is what womanhood, like Brittany said, what represents womanhood to him, if this is where he straight goes to, this is what he thinks is beautiful, or what he places high value on,
yeah,
that's all I need to know about, bro. That's
yeah,
all. I don't need to know anything. I don't need to listen to any more of his
Mhm.
music. Even if I did, I don't have to watch your videos. Like if that's where you're at, that's not the frequency I'm on, right? And I'll say this because this conversation is always tricky to have because it's like you don't want to shame people. I always believe if you want to get work done, you know, live your life as you see fit, right? My issue becomes when we start shaming or putting down natural women. My whole thing is if you want to get something altered, you want to get something changed. When Kim K became famous, she was when I started getting more concerned with like cosmetic stuff because I feel like she pushed it to be like really mainstream in our community.
right,
Like
right,
everybody wanted to have the Kim K body shit. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. Broadly speaking, like when she came into the picture, that's when cosmetic surgery for me
yeah,
became like really cool. Like
yeah,
people like her. So I mean, don't shame natural women. Live your life. Why you got to shame the shorties who don't got work done? Why you got to throw shade and make it seem like she's less than or less valuable because she's not her natural self? That's what messes me up. And that's what really upsets me because we're talking about one of the most dangerous surgeries, cosmetic surgeries you can have. Like people have died. People die every year from this surgery. People, you know what I mean? Like this is a serious surgery that could be fatal. And I think about DC Youngfly's wife who wasn't getting a BBL, but she was getting like I think a tummy tuck or something. It was cosmetic.
I don't know what
Died.
she was getting
She
cosmetic.
went. DC Young Fly lost his wife and the mother of his like 2 or 3 kids like 3 or 4 months ago from cosmetic surgery. So so that's where my mind goes. Where I'm like, you're promoting and you're putting value on this thing that's like hurting our community. You guys remember the video when they had that video years ago where it was all them shorties on wheelchairs coming off the plane
Oh,
from the
yeah.
DR?
Yeah,
That's
They
sad.
were like stressing the hell out the airport because they didn't even have that many wheelchairs at that moment. They weren't
yeah,
prepared for that. You know what I mean? But like when I see like lines and droves of women, of our women going and doing that, like listen, live your life as you see fit. I'm just looking at just the health risk, man. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? The things that people do to try to change their bodies or love their bodies, whether they do it for themselves or for validation. I don't know. But I don't know, man. I'm upset with this. It's like, first of all, you're gay, bro. You know what I mean? And first of all, how are you okay, I'm not gonna body shame somebody who was body shaming. So who are you to talk, bro? like I'm like, have you looked at yourself in the head like, are you serious? So I agree with y'all. And it's so Brittany, so asking you because we'd love to have the female perspective as well. Like, do you think this is becoming more of a problem in our community, where cosmetic surgery or this aesthetic? You said there's a certain look. Like, is this becoming an increasing concern or issue in our community? Like, is this something that we should really be talking about more seriously? Like,
I think it depends on the message and who it's being geared to, like, because I personally think that when I see Saucy, I also see a lot of insecurities, right? So I feel like him even talking about this woman's body is so much of himself projecting onto her the things that he in reality never would have
did
had
she freeze
as
on
a
you?
yeah.
man.
She froze.
Am I frozen?
Yeah,
Can
you froze.
back?
Are you good?
Hey,
Oh,
back.
okay. So sorry, I was basically talking about how I think that it's rooted in a lot of insecurity. One, right? So you've got Saucy, who I think is projecting a lot onto this woman that he doesn't even know, right? Insecurities of things that he was never born with, right? Whether that is like all of those things are things that are additions. Those are all things that are quote unquote not natural, right? Whether that's getting a BBL, having cosmetic surgery, whether that's getting a lace front wig, whether that's
Yeah.
getting more eyelashes, whether that's having makeup. These are all things that are cosmetic. They're all things that change you. They're all things that scream, or don't even scream all the time. I shouldn't say that, but like they speak to the insecurities that all of us have, right? And for women, I think that like as a person who I love makeup, right? But a lot of how I do makeup, how I talk about makeup, all those things, it should enhance what you already have, right? What Kim K did for the beauty industry was allow for women to reshape their faces, right? So contouring, this kind of makeup, a lot of the makeup that Kim specialized in the beginning, this is drag makeup, right? This is makeup that is supposed to feminize your face when women already had feminine features, right? So you've got a lot of women who are over trying it's a whole thing where it's like, baby girl, you don't even got to do all that because your face is already a certain kind of way. Some of this makeup is stage makeup. When you have these beautiful drag faces and things that like, this is makeup, right? This is
Right.
changing your
Yeah.
facial structure. This is stage makeup, performance wear, right? This is not everyday makeup.
Right.
And y'all don't all look like Kim, right? And so there's a lot of things that are projected onto us as women. And I do think that there has been a move from this, and I don't know if it's a whole Gen X thing, but there's the younger kids are really into these natural aesthetics, right? There's clean girl aesthetic, which is like basically everybody looks like they're just like slicked back or like glazed. There's all these different new words for being natural, quote unquote. A
Oh.
rise in more of the organic products for women, vegan products. So I will say that since 2020, honestly, since the pandemic, when girls were like, damn, what am I wearing makeup for every day? I'm not going outside. Like, who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for myself? Is it because I want to, dress up sometimes? Like I
Yeah.
consider like the feeling when you put on makeup, I imagine is how dudes feel when you get a shape up. Like, it's like when you have a shape up, that's
Oh.
like that. It's
Yeah,
like
you lost again.
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
you was gonna kill it. You was gonna make
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, she's back. She's back. No, every
You
now and
know,
then
you know
you'll
what's
just
on
lag
my?
a
It's
little bit.
probably my internet, but I was saying that I feel like
Yeah.
doing your makeup is for men, like getting a shape up. That feeling that you have when it's like,
Right.
you feel enhanced. You feel you still you, but it just feels like a little bit. There's just something that happens with makeup. But this, I'm saying all that because I feel like so much of this is still rooted in insecurity, still rooted in like, can we all how do all of us show our insecurities, right? And I think women show it in different ways, but I think
Right.
right now, right, you got a whole culture that is pushing BBLs, pushing this like idea of just enhanced features of you can dream your way to being the perfect person that you want to
That's
be, right?
crazy.
You can make yourself look however you imagine you to be
Yeah.
and change every aspect of yourself, right? Or, which I think is kind of inspiring, this idea of like the younger generation, I do think this is happening, of them more trying to embrace like what you already have sometimes,
Yeah.
but I also say that to say that there's a big like miscommunication, like kind of conflated, like I don't people are saying two different things at the same time. So it's like on one end, we want to be supernatural, right? We want to say that we just embrace what you already have. But on the other end, we all want to change ourselves completely and be whoever we want to
Yeah.
be. So there's two different things that I think are happening. Yeah.
I
And
think
and
it's.
yeah.
Oh no,
No,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
go ahead,
Ty.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ty.
Right.
You too.
I think some of the funniest videos online that I watch are videos with like dudes when they like fly chicks out. They meet them off Instagram or whatever, any kind of TikTok whatever. They fly them out and they be like, they're recording it. And they're like, you don't look like this. And they pull up their phone. It'd be like, it'd be like, you see like her pictures and she look crazy on Instagram. She look so bad on Instagram. And they be like,
I've seen. Yeah.
this ain't you. This
It's
no 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 no
catfishing
no
like
no.
a bud.
And
It's catfishing for me.
the chick like, well, it is me. It is me. Well, I guess technically it's you. Y'all have the same. I guess you are the
It's
same
similar.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this ain't you. They'd be like, look at this ass crazy. That ain't this. I'll be sitting there cracking up. They'd be like, bro, like you got. I'm
Do you,
not paying for this hotel. I'm not paying for this dinner. Whatever, blah blah blah. Like that shit makes me crack up. But go ahead, Joe. You about to say
no, I'm just it's so
something?
Britt, do you think so I okay, so in my social circles, I don't have men who place this so much value or stock in cosmetic surgery, right? I don't got guys who are like, no, she gotta have this and
Yeah,
that, and she gotta have it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't really talk to. I know those men exist. I know
yeah,
they're out there. I know it's something that there's an aesthetic that what type of man do you think is drawn to that aesthetic? You know what I mean? Because I feel like once you get the work done, you're going to attract a certain type of man. And so my question to you is like, what type of man is that is drawn to that aesthetic? Is it like, I don't
that's,
know. You know what I'm
that's
trying to
part of
ask?
you.
Like,
I think we mirror each other, right? So I think that there's matching that happens naturally, right?
okay,
So the insecurities that I feel like, it reminds me of how just you match up with people, right? So I think that there's space for people who like that, right? But I guarantee you those dudes have a certain kind of aesthetic that they want to maintain. They expect that from that woman, I'm sure, right? So there's certain things that are like, if you already have the perfect body, BBL, you look like Kim, you look like Meg, you look like whoever, Ice, whatever, whoever you look like, whoever you're trying to portray. I think
yeah,
that there's a certain this goes into like being a trophy and all those kind of other things too, but there's a certain thing that I think comes with being interested in those kind of women, just like those women are seeking out those kind of men, though. You know what I mean? I think you're
yeah,
matching yourselves off in a
yeah,
certain kind of way. So it's just a natural it's the same reason why I feel like, you know, um I don't know, because there's a part of this that comes with like a little bit of, and I'm gonna say this because I feel like there's a pretty privilege that comes with certain things too. So I don't also want to shame people who are trying to look a certain way, because some people are society's standard of what beauty might look like right now, right?
right,
So I feel like we're entering a world right now where it's very, the form of beauty that quote unquote men are interested in. This is all about, I feel like, kind of like this idea of what are men interested in, right? So the society that we're in right now, I think it's like, what do men think is nice, and that's what we're all kind of looking towards. So right now it seems to be like an ambiguous woman, right? So she might, there was a I wish I saw it, but there was like a video that was done, was like, she's got to have like hips and curves like a Black or Latina woman, right? She's got to have lips like this person, she's got to have a nose that's Arabic, she's got to have all these different kind of
oh
features, but everybody
god,
looks so racially ambiguous, right? But all of us can know what that Instagram model face looks like, right? All of those kind
yeah,
of ideas of what we're told that, like, right? But those people who like them, they might be the ballers, right? Who's really matching up with who, like with who. um so yeah, I think there's like a natural matching that takes place too, whether or not we want to acknowledge it. People like what they like, and I think a lot of that, to be honest, is rooted in insecurities. It really is.
right.
And yeah.
Is this all on y'all though? Like, not all on y'all. I'm sorry. Let me ask a better question, because my mind goes to like, how have we failed our women that we have pushed them under the knife? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have we done to? Because then it's like, is it a thing about men tossing this expectation on women, or is this just like women doing it to compete amongst themselves? Like, you know what I mean? Like how? I don't know. Do you guys feel like men are pushing more and more women under the knife because of some ridiculous or unrealistic expectation? Is this something that we're contributing to? Like,
Let me say this. I think women do it. Like I hate when you like. I know a couple of women who've had BBL. So when you ask them why did you get a BBL, they say I did it for
yeah,
myself.
okay,
But the first thing you do after you heal from your BBL is you post it on Instagram. So did you really do it for yourself? Did you really do it for yourself? I question this notion that you're doing this shit for yourself, because the first thing you do is post it online. So no, I don't think
yeah,
you did it for yourself. If you did it for yourself, you would just take a couple pictures, keep it in your phone, and then scroll or just look in the mirror because you already got it right. It
yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. But listen, men like what they like, but I think it's women competing with other women.
You think it's more of women competing
It's
with each other?
more because first of all, they started doing that goddamn eyelash shit. Have you ever met a dude to say, yo, you know what?
I
Yo,
really like
she's super
those.
pretty, but she will be so much better looking If
I
she had
just
10-inch eyelashes,
no.
them bitches would be
The exaggerated ones, I just can't,
they
bro.
would be
And I've
incredible.
tried to like be easy on them, but I just can't. I just don't
You've
find them
never met a
attractive
guy
at
like that. You've
all.
never met a guy in your whole life like that. My wife doesn't
No,
even
I
know.
don't.
I don't even notice women's eyelash. When I see a woman, I don't even notice that shit. I'm like, okay, cool, you cool, you pretty, blah blah blah. Like, I don't be like, damn. When she walk away, I'm
Listen,
like, oh,
Brit, I don't
goddamn.
know if you like them Jones, but I'm sorry,
No,
but
I don't.
we
I
don't
don't.
fuck. We
So
I cannot stand these fuck, especially the super
no,
exaggerated ones that don't even look natural at all.
no.
Like why?
I call them snuffleupagus lashes. So
Yo,
I
why? And
like
it's spreading though. I see it
no.
all throughout Philly. I
It's
see it at
everywhere,
the
bro. It's
drive-through
everywhere.
at the McDonald's. I see it at the wall. I like it's everywhere. I'm like, when did this
So
be? Like,
it's a
is it that men
cultural
were like,
thing too, right? I think that it's layered. I really do think that all of this is layered, right? So I think on one hand, like lashes, BBL, all this stuff, saucy, being city girl, all this is a very a free woman, right? There's all these different things that are like tied with being able to do all these certain things, right? I think that um on a like black people throughout history level, this is like a modern day, like this is like the Jezebel, this sapphire spirit, right? This energy that's very much rooted in sex, rooted in lust, rooted in attention, rooted in all things, all things, all eyes on me. And I think that a lot of that, I'm not sure. I think that it's layered. That's why I'm saying that. So on one hand, you have this taking place with like women just wanting to be who you want to be, dress how you want to dress, look how you want to look. And those influences can come from your mom, they can come from your people around
right,
you, they can come from the internet, they can come
right,
from so and so up the block, right? But in the same breath, I think that there's certain things that men do like that are more that increase in value, which is why women want them. So right now it seems like men all want fat asses, right? That has just been the last couple years. That's where it seems to be quote unquote what men want. It don't mean that
yeah,
women aren't competing for that, right? It doesn't mean that I don't think that women are still wanting to be like, well, I want to look badder than every bad bitch out here, right? I'm sure
right,
that's happening too, but I think that's happening with insecure women, right? So there's like layers to who we're talking about, what groups of people we're talking about as well.
right.
Um, I also think that there's like um what is pushed on you for real, like what is quote unquote exaggerated in the media, quote unquote, is what is being shown to us so much, right? Maybe
Right.
men really all don't like fat asses, but it's because that's what the internet keep telling us women, that that's what y'all like. You know what I mean?
I
There
mean,
could
we
be
do. I
all
don't know about
like
other men. We do. We're very biased, but yeah, not all men.
but you know what I mean? Like there's I think messaging being delivered to both of us in
Right.
different circles, and we don't have an
Yeah.
opportunity to have these kind of conversations. And
Right.
especially with social media, especially with all of this stuff. So I do think it's one, yes, women wanting to say, I got this for myself, right? Like, I'm, yeah, I got whatever you got, any of the things that you want to get done, why you got it done,
Yeah.
right? But I also think that there's pressure from society to just look a certain way so you can fit in, especially if
Yeah.
you already don't match certain aesthetics. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember that quote that J. Cole said, it was a few years ago, I imagine, where he was like, listen, the natural quiet, introverted, or like the good girls, they winning. They out there winning. Like, don't be discouraged. Don't let the media or social media fool you. Like, y'all, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. I remember when he was
Yeah,
giving a shout out to like the shorties that
I
like
think it's
are
called,
just invisible in the media right now. Cause like Brittany said, there's like this cookie cutter image of a woman now. This cookie cutter like ideal, this aesthetic. You know, the fate like. And he was like basically shout out to the shorties that's just around the way who ain't
the
trying to
song.
be all that.
The song was called Smile. It's called
Okay,
Smile.
is that he said it on that track?
Yeah, on
Oh, I
that
thought
track.
it was
Yeah,
just. I know it was on Twitter, but I didn't know it was like a
yeah, it was
lyric.
like an actual song. The whole song was about that. But
Look at
listen, we
that.
gotta,
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like a shout out, and I'm just like, are we just forgetting about those women? Like the women who don't want to be the boss bees, and the
yeah,
women. You know what I mean, like, damn, I feel like they get overlooked. Or is it that men are like looking past them, or are they not getting enough love or validation? Like, I
yeah.
don't know. Like they're
But
like amazing. Like, okay,
yeah, listen, we running a little long, so we gotta wrap this up. Um, if y'all got some final thoughts, let's keep it short, and then let's move on to the next.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Any final thoughts on like the Saucy Santana situation? Just like yeah. So we'll go with you, Brett. Any final thoughts on this subject?
Yeah,
No, we just gotta work on
when she comes back
Working on
because
our
she might just pop in
insecurities.
again.
After these messages.
You know?
There you go. Now she's back.
Oh, dang, I was gone. See,
Yeah,
we just
Yeah,
gotta
there
work
you
you
on
go.
good.
our
You just froze
insecurities.
for a little bit, but you good. But any
That's
final
all.
thoughts? Or you good?
Insecurities, working on our insecurities, and I feel like seeing through what people are saying, because I feel like the more you know about yourself, the more you can realize like Saucy ain't say nothing. That was all him, being insecure about his own stuff. Hmm.
All right. Final thoughts, Ty. You good?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, community, family, let us know what you guys think about the Saucy Santana situation. Anything we talked about, please chime in. We love the engagement. Like, subscribe. We on the move. Big things in the future coming.
We are. We are.
So, all right, y'all. Until next time.
Thanks.